why a shape can be considered a raw star today. Not long ago, and still with many of us today, the indexical relationship of photography to reality holds, but with great suspicion. We're always doubtful about what news reportage presents to us. There's always a lingering disbelief in every image we see, to the extent that there's even a mistrust in history itself for what it represents, and more importantly, for what it does not. Fact and fiction no more lie on two polar ends. They reside together, and the more we enter the realm of the mediatic and the virtual, the more does the media insist on laying claim to the real. Almost all of the television industry, at least I can say for India, runs on reality television shows. Our presence on sites from Facebook and Orkut to activism to blogging have all enforced a different link with reality. Even values as concrete as monetary exchange seem to be functioning in a realm of the virtual. What else was the Sabih scam all about, recently? Taking some of these thoughts further, a workshop based on text is followed. It might even just continue after this residency is over. As I would say, the workshop did not even start this text-based undertaking, but is in fact an intersection point of a continuation of an already ongoing body of work many of us were doing employing text in different ways. With developments in cultural studies, images themselves came to be seen and read as text. But on another tangent, not unique or novel in any way, discussions went into text as being visual stimulants and text as representation. Now, regarding text as visual stimulant, someone familiar with the discourse on art would recall what American art historian Fred Hogan phrased as the eruption of language into the field of visual arts. There have been artists in the West who have been preoccupied with text in this space. There was a Belgian writer called Henry Michaud. He called these little scribbles as themic writing, and I think you can read about them in the PowerPoint. Now, Michaud's themic writing comes from my institute, and there were more who took it even further, like post-war Latin American artist Leon Ferrari, who made a work in 1964 titled Written Painting. In written, are you all done with this? Do you move on? Yeah. In Written Painting, Leon Ferrari, what he does in this painting is that he describes in writing what he would have made but he could not have made. So this painting is what he would have made. And there are still more today, more artists today like John Balthazar. And another abstract artist, Nasreen Mohammadi, her diaries and her work also has very many innovative ways of dealing with illegibility and legibility. However, not simply in art history, but I think it's compelling to think of all forms and mediums of text today that bear the aspect of visual simulation. Isn't this what typography gives us all the time? How to make text more easily readable for the eye by character spacing, font size, color, background, etc. Or how to make a word phrase a visual icon like Coca-Cola. But there are two things at play here, as I can deduce from this small but energy-driven gathering. The materiality of writing, as in the work of Michaud and Ferrari and and the immateriality of text. I'm going to discuss the immateriality of text further on. But before we talk about the immateriality of text, a concurrent I would want to bring up is about the context. We too easily seem to get carried away when it comes to historical retrospection that something today has already been done before. And the question of, so what's new about this? In reference to this, I quote Tim Griffin, an art critic who is the editor of Art Form magazine, in this insightful observation that he made in the summer 2009 issue, where he asked, when is the artistic activity the symptom and when is it the solution? In our present situation, Jean Baudrillard asserts that if any event captured is, I quote, not as it used to be in action, or a reflection of the time. It's particularly interesting how most of the artists today show remarkably strong interest in remembering and thereby documenting and archiving, whereas consumer culture constantly urges us to forget through fantasies of newer products. Back to the question of the immateriality of text, we confront the question of illegibility in an altogether different manner. What comes to light is not that we are unable to decipher meaning, but instead are able to see our own reading of literature. What Gaitonde, Michaud, and these others did was to explore the alphabet. But in the immateriality of text, interpretation explodes. Authorship might be questionable in both cases, but when you strike out something you have written, does it even exist as a text? The trace no doubt remains. But who can claim authorship when it negates reading? I'd like to make clear that that is not an absence of reading, but rather a negation of it, where negation is made visible. This negation would have a lot in common with an inescapable repetition of something too. It could also be an obfuscation or manipulation of pre-existing text, or a text in disguise, in some works by Balaji, for example. We have this tendency operating with a lot of wit, where in this work, it's the national anthem, in which the text is being worked on. The pledge. Similarly so, with Himanshu's work, which is titled Keep Alive the Rumor That God Exists. It's another work where he shatters what we may call the absolute belief into shards of rumor that might spread in unpredictable ways, just as this work. When I was talking about striking out, now the negation of the text is visible to us. So, can one claim authorship over something that is striked out? Or does one even read something that is striked out? Is it a text? And in this way I will talk about the immateriality. In Shreyas Karde's work, what comes to life, or what comes to the fore, are various imposters he assumes in each work. He employs discursive models of science, anthropology, archaeology, and archiving in order to construct completely fictional axioms and history. Maybe we can have even the artists talk a bit about their work a little later on in the discussion. So it's a deception of sorts that lies at the heart of many of these examples. In Karde's work, the viewer may be deceived, and perhaps because of the cheekiness with which the work has been rendered, the viewer may even be aware that he is being deceived. What he's done here in the center. Shiv, would you like to talk? No. Would you like to say something about this work? I think you can go ahead and say something. I'm not presenting all of the artists' work right now, and I apologize to the artists for this because what I've been discussing so far, and I still have a bit left, is about the discussion we've had so far in our discussions in this workshop. So it's been about text, it's about what we can do with text, what we ought to do with text, and how text or ways of discourse have always been a preoccupation of this, in a way very different from the artists of the past. So about deception, Balaji, what he does in his work, he checks the veracity or the deception that lies in the text that we take for granted. In Himanshu's work, he will expose his text in its obliteration by means of striking out or showing his own doubt in what he has stated. And to the question of deception that I will turn on to the next part of the presentation. For a while, I don't know if everyone's read it. It's called The Disciple. It's about Narcissus, and I think Narcissus will pose as a very strong figure in our workshop. Narcissus